Hi, I'm Diane Marie Collins, and you have entered the DMZone. And today my guest is Richard Sanchez, the president of Navarro College. Welcome, Richard.
Welcome. Well, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Good to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm enjoying Corsicana for sure. Tell me a little bit about Navarro College, just briefly.
Navarro College began in 1946. Mm-hmm. It officially began at the old Air Activity Base, which is the airport out of town. Several prominent members wanted a community college in this county. So at the end of the war, we had an air activity base out there, so Navarro College then became Navarro College at the Air Activities Base in 1946.
Well, that's a while ago, and it's grown and it's moved forward.
It has grown dramatically. We now have 11,500 students.
Oh my goodness!
And we've increased our enrollment dramatically. We have appeared on Community College Week as the fastest growing community college in the nation for its size. So we're quite delighted about Navarro College.
And then Charles Pearce decided to take his private collection of art and Civil War memorabilia and started the museum that we have now here, the Pearce Museum.
Yes, that is true.
That brought us the Western Artists of America. Tell me about that. How does that feel? What is that doing for Navarro College?
Well, it's doing wonderful things. Let me tell you first of all about Charles Pearce. See, I came in 1998 to the college, and about that time, Mr. Pearce and Mrs. Pearce were beginning their collection. Well, the way this collection began, the Civil War collection, that was first, and then the Southwestern Art Museum was second. But the way the museum began is that Mrs. Pearce read a story or a book on Chamberlain. Oh. She just loved Chamberlain. So for her birthday, because she liked Chamberlain so much, Chuck Pearce gave her a love letter that Chamberlain had written to his wife.
Oh, how sweet.
Peggy Pearce became totally enamored. She didn't know what to do. So that sparked the collection. And from that point forward, they began buying memorabilia, artifacts, all sorts of things having to do with the Civil War. We have over 7,000 letters. We have several items that date back to the Civil War, and it's an absolutely wonderful museum.
It is, and I actually took a brief tour through it, and it's so moving. You lay it out, and it's I guess as gentle as you can treat a subject as war, but the fact that this country has come back from it is just, to me, amazing.
It really is.
We're a great country.
Really is, yes. But the Southwestern Art Museum was a simultaneous project.
Oh, how wonderful.
We constructed the museum during my tenure here, and I've got to tell you about this. When I first came and I met Chuck Pearce, absolutely wonderful man, we had a gathering to raise money to build the museum.
Correct.
So we had a gentleman by the name of Bob Dyer, who was from Alabama, that came and gave us a design for the museum. It was an octagon-shaped design with multimedia coming from every direction. I thought it was fabulous. Well, Mr. Dyer passed away. Oh. So I used to have breakfast with Mr. Pearce once a week in one of our local spots here called Roy's Cafe. So one morning, Mr. Pearce and I are talking there, and he says, "Dick," he says, we've got to do something about this museum. We've got to get it built." I said, "Yes, we do, Chuck." And you know, Chuck, that model that Bob Dyer gave us is fabulous. He says, Dick, he says, open your imagination. He says, I want something much more. I said, "But Chuck, that's so wonderful. How much better could it get?" He says, "Dick, I want something that's going to be like Disneyland. I want something great." Well, certainly his vision brought us something very nice, because you can see what we have in the museum. It's absolutely incredible.
And the Western Museum is so wonderful because it's almost like hanging in a hacienda, a home. And so the Western Artists of America are here today. This is the first time they've been with you. Would you like to see them come back?
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. And by the way you know that Mr. Pearce used to collect Southwestern art when he lived in Santa Fe.
Correct.
So basically he brought that collection. It first was housed in his home.
Yes.
And then when it became too large for the home, then he wanted a location. So he just kept buying. Every month he would buy art pieces and memorabilia. He was just so generous in purchasing all these pieces that we now show here in the museum, and we're totally indebted to Mr. Pearce.
Oh, I would have to agree with you. It is a wonderful museum. We hope that the Western Artists of America bring a lot of good things to the Pearce Museum and to Navarro College, because a portion of their sale is going to help fund more and more things for the Pearce Museum, and that's what we're glad to be here.
Well, thank you, and we're delighted.
All right. And you have been in the DM Zone. Come back soon.